Hi, everybody. My name is Paul Powers. I hope this show finds you in good humor, good cheer, and in good financial circumstances. Got a couple of questions to ask you. Are you currently living your ideal lifestyle? Are you able to send your kids to the private schools that you and your wife would like to send them to? Are you currently happy with your current occupation? Do you feel that there's a future in what you're doing right now in terms of your employment? You know, I talk to a lot of people, they seem to feel that they're either going to get laid off, they've been threatened to be laid off, or they have been laid off. If you're under these circumstances right now, if you're currently in the process of losing your home due to foreclosure, if you're currently not living that ideal lifestyle, this might be the most important 3 to 5 minutes that you'll ever see on a TV show or an internet show. Let's get straight into it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why timing is so important in terms of what we do as a company. Between 1946 and 1964, 76 million kids were born. Now, they call these kids the baby boomers. Now, why were so many kids born starting around after 1946? Well, World War II had just ended. Soldiers hadn't seen their wives for the longest time. What's the first thing on their mind? That's right, they're going to sit down and have dinner. But then they're going to go ahead and make a lot of kids. Well, apparently, they were very good at making a lot of kids because they made 76 million kids. Now, let's imagine that you and I are back in 1946, and you and I know that over the next 18 years, there's going to be about 76 million kids born. What kind of products do you think those kids would need? Well, if you're thinking baby food, that's very good. What company comes to mind when you think about baby food? If you're thinking about Gerber, then you're absolutely correct. That is a very good answer. Now, if you're thinking about baby shampoo, what company do you think of? Well, if you said Johnson & Johnson, that's a very good answer. That's what most people say. And when you think about toys, what company do you think of? Well, if you said Mattel, then you're generally correct. A lot of people say Mattel. Now, it's interesting. All these companies were established around the same time, became multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar companies. Why? Because of timing. Now you go into the 1950s. These kids are now 5 to 7 years old. What are these kids getting ready to do? They're getting ready to attend school, aren't they? Except in the 1950s, they did not anticipate all these kids coming into the school system. So what did they have to do? They had to build schools. So what industry do you think took off back in the 1950s? Exactly, the construction industry took off in the 1950s. A lot of your major companies that are around today were established around the 1950s, became multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar companies. Why? Because of timing. Now you have the 1960s. These kids are now 16 years old. What's on a 16-year-old's mind? Besides some of the things that you might be thinking of, they're thinking about driving. Except what are they thinking about driving? Are they thinking about driving a station wagon, or are they thinking about driving a sports car? Well, if you said sports car, you're generally correct. What famous sports car came out in 1964 and a half? Exactly. If you said Ford Mustang, you're exactly correct. A lot of your major auto industry manufacturers came out with sports cars during the 1960s, ended up becoming multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar corporations, again because of timing. Now you have the 1970s and 80s. These kids are not kids anymore. They're in their 30s. Wife looks over at the husband. She says, honey, I'm sick and tired of renting. I want to buy Exactly, I want to buy a house. So what industry do you think took off back in the 1970s and 80s? Well, if you guessed real estate, you're absolutely correct. A lot of your major multimillionaire, multi-billionaires were established back in the 1970s, 80s. Why? Because of timing. Now the last big wave is upon us, folks. These kids are not kids anymore. They're 45 to 63 years old. And what are they getting ready to do? They're getting ready to retire. So what do you think they're going to need? If you said they're going to need financial services, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. This is the perfect time to be involved in financial services. Now let's talk a little bit about where this country is at. There's two different categories of people in the United States. You've got those people that are making $0 to $99,000 a year, and you've got those other people that are making $100,000 and plus a year. Now, which do you think there's more of in the United States? Do you think there's more people making under $100,000 a year, or do you think there's more people making over $100,000 a year? Now, if you said over $100,000 a year, you're absolutely correct. Now, let me ask you a question. Out of these two categories, which do you think knows most about how money works? If you guess the ones that make $100,000 plus or more, you're absolutely correct. Now, why is that? Because some of your major companies, and we won't mention their names, they concentrate on those people that make the big bucks. So what happens is the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. These people invest their money in real estate, maybe mutual funds, and insurance. They may get anywhere from 6 to 12% return on their money. So what are they getting ready to do by the time they get ready to retire? Exactly right. They're getting ready to retire, living the American dream. Now you've got the people on the other side that make under $100,000 a year. Where do they put their money? Well, they're in the bank, aren't they? So when they put their money in the bank, what are their alternatives? They put their money in a checking account, they put their money maybe in a CD, and maybe they put their money in a savings account. Okay, on those accounts, they might get anywhere from 0 to 4% return on their money. Usually these people are renters. So what do you think they're doing by the time they're 65? Exactly, they're still working. They're not living the American dream. So what we do as a company, we educate people on how to get from one side to the other side. Now let me ask you a question. Do you think all those people that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, 70s anticipated that they'd be working at companies like McDonald's, they'd be working at Walmart, they'd be working at Costco as checkers or slinging burgers? Of course not. They were sold on the American dream that someday Social Security and a pension and some savings would help them in their golden years. But that doesn't seem to be the case at all, does it? Well, if you see the timing is in place for what we're doing over here, and you would like to sit down with me on a one-on-one appointment, toe-to-toe, so we can discuss the opportunity that might be available for you with our company, I welcome you to give me a call. Call me at 1-877-TAX-FREE, extension 777. That would be 1-877-829-3733, extension 7777. I look forward to the possibility of working with you. Let's go ahead and keep our positive minds. I do believe there's tremendous opportunity even in the kind of current economic situation that we have today, and I welcome your call. Again, thank you for sharing your time with me.